Hey everyone, welcome back to the Choose Health Test Kitchen. My name is Sienna Boyd and today we are making Dijon salmon. Something I love about Dijon salmon, first of all, salmon in general, is that it is a super easy weeknight meal. I love making it. I make sure it's in my rotation. So today we're going to actually do a little spin. Usually the garlic butter lemon salmon is pretty traditional. Today we're adding Dijon and some dill to give it a little kick. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our Dijon dill sauce. So here I have one sprig of dill that I already have pre-chopped. This is what a sprig of dill looks like. It is so fresh and so traditionally used in seafood cuisine. And so you can get this dill anywhere that you will find your normal herbs, like with the cilantro and the parsley, you can find dill right next to it. So I'm going to take the dill that I already pre-chopped and add it to my bowl of pre-chopped garlic. I have about 2 cloves of pre-chopped garlic. So I'll add that dill right into the bowl. Okay, the dill is in the bowl. Now I'm going to add our Dijon mustard. I say about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Dijon is a lot different than normal yellow mustard. It has a lot more of a spicier flavor, which I think complements the dill a lot better than a normal mustard would. And then we'll go ahead and add, again, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, the same ratio that you put in as the Dijon mustard. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Unless you're like my husband who likes to have all of his ingredients pre-measured and exactly to the tablespoon, feel free to do that. Otherwise, I think I know what 2 tablespoons look like. So we'll add that in there. And then I'm going to take my lemon. This is just a normal Meyer lemon and I'm gonna cut it in half. So we'll take 1/2 and squeeze it into this mixture and then we're saving the other half for later. Okay, so we added our lemon. Now it's time to mix it all up. So we're creating an emulsion. That's when you have oil and you have that acid and you're just mixing it all together. And the emulsifier is actually the mustard that we added. So we're mixing it all up, and when it is all done being mixed, it'll look something like this. It looks so good. I can already smell it. I can already taste the salmon. I'm so excited. So we'll put this aside, and now it's time to take out our salmon. Now, before we did any of this, I preheated my oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I know that sounds very, very, very hot, but the salmon is not going to be in the oven for very long. So we want a very, very hot oven. I have 2 pieces of foil right here that I'm gonna put down, and now it's time to take out the salmon. Usually I go to the butcher counter and I ask for what kind of salmon that I want. So usually I'll ask for maybe some salmon that is equal in size. That way one salmon doesn't cook faster or slower than the other salmon. Okay, so I have my 2 pieces of salmon here. I'm going to put them on the foil, just like this. And then we're going to take our salt and our pepper, and we'll go ahead and put the salt and pepper on our salmon to taste. So something that I love about salmon, just in general, is it is known to be super healthy, which I love. And the reason why it's really healthy is because, one, it's filled with tons and tons of omega-3s. So there's omega-6s and then there's omega-3s, and sometimes when they're out of balance, it can add to high cholesterol and it's just not balanced. So we wanna make sure it's balanced with eating lots of high omega-3 foods, just like salmon. And so it's very heart healthy. Also, it adds tons and tons of protein to your diet. And what protein does is it makes sure that you are full for longer so you don't overeat, which is nice. That way it can aid to weight loss. So we'll take the sauce that we made, the emulsion of the dill, the garlic, the olive oil, and the Dijon, and we're going to spoon it right over our salmon, just like this. And make sure that it's even on both salmon. If you put a little bit more on the other one, no problem. Just make sure it's as even as you can make it. Oh, yes, this smells so good. I'm so excited. Okay, so go ahead, set the salmon aside for 1 more second, and we're going to take the other half of the lemon that we saved, and we're going to cut it into rings, just like this. We'll slice it into rings. That way we can put it on top of the salmon to add even more lemon flavor. So right now we just got 3 rings out of it. That's okay. Maybe on the bigger slice of salmon, you can put 2 rings, and then on the smaller salmon, you can just put 1. It's just to add as much more lemon flavor as we can. So we'll get the salmon back on our cutting board and we're going to wrap it into this little pocket. So we have our salmon, we have the lemon slices on the salmon and the sauce, and now it is time to wrap the salmon inside our foil, kind of to make a pocket. So first thing you'll do is you'll take the top of the foil and wrap it into the salmon, take the bottom and do the same, and then wrap the sides right on top, just like that. So it forms this little pocket of salmon, and then put it back on your sheet tray. The reason why we have a sheet tray is to make sure that if any juices do come out of the salmon, that it doesn't go all over the oven. So we do the same thing, wrap it into this little pocket for the second salmon, just like this. And then we'll take both our salmon, pop into the oven at 450 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until the salmon is nice, light, and flaky, not overcooked. Okay, so the salmon is in the oven. I can already smell it. It smells amazing. What I love to pair with salmon is I love to pair it with fresh asparagus. Asparagus is one of those vegetables that I can eat every single day. It's almost always readily available at the grocery store. And so I'm gonna chop it just like this. I like to take the bottoms off of the asparagus, line them up, and take the bottoms off. The bottoms can be a little woody and not as tender as the tops. And so they're not really fun to eat. So we'll put aside that. Hopefully you can put in your compost or add it to your compost bin that you have outside. And here I have some delicious asparagus. So we'll go ahead and we will move this aside and heat up our pan on medium-high heat. To your pan, go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So the reason why I love asparagus is, like I said, it has so much fiber, but it also has tons of different vitamins, including vitamin K. And so when you're grocery shopping for asparagus, you want to make sure to get thick, round stalks, and then make sure that the tip is nice and closed and close to the stalk. If it's open and soggy, that just won't taste very good, and you can tell it's not very fresh. So that's what you want to look for when you're grocery shopping for asparagus. And then when you add the asparagus to the pan, add some salt to taste. Also add some pepper. And then we're going to go ahead and saute it until it's nice and delicious and crispy. Okay, so I took out the asparagus off of the pan and put it on this plate. I like my asparagus a little bit more tender, but if you like yours more crisp, you can take it off the pan about 2 minutes earlier. So I put it on this plate and now it's time to take out the salmon. Okay, the salmon is out. It smells absolutely amazing. I'm gonna open it up out of the foil pocket, and just like I said, no juice came out. But if it did, we had that sheet tray right underneath to make sure that nothing got on our beautiful oven. So, oh my gosh, it smells so good. You can really smell the lemon and the dill. I love that about lemon and dill, that it complements each other so well like that. So we'll go ahead and take out the salmon from the pocket. Do it carefully so that you don't break any of the salmon. Right on our tray. Oh, that looks beautiful. We'll take the other one out now. We'll lay that right down next to the other one. We'll move this out of the way. And now it is time to taste our salmon. Oh, like I said, it smells so good. You can really see the dill, you can see the garlic. It's been cooked but not burnt at all. And the salmon is so flaky. I don't know if you can see that, but just how flaky that salmon is. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, I'm ready to take a bite. Oh, it smells amazing. So perfectly cooked, so perfectly seasoned. I love the way that the lemon brings out the dill so well. It's like dill and lemon were made for each other. This is amazing and so healthy, especially for a weeknight meal. It takes about 7 minutes to prep, 10 minutes to cook, and so you're all ready for a full meal right under 20 minutes. Thanks so much for joining us at the Choose Health Kitchen.